let's see what we're doing today. Well, today what we're gonna do is we're gonna look at a little sample. So, uh, sorry I didn't record the last one. Last one I looked at a sample of worm castings that were 18 months old. Wasn't really impressed. Tested amoeba, bacteria. That's about it. Wasn't really too pleased with that, but wasn't gonna expect anything else. It was a bag that was 18 months old, right? So now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take a look at a different sample. All right, I'm gonna have to adjust my settings real quick. Bear with me. There we go. All right. A little bit of lighting, a little bit of focus. All right. And now we're going to do this. So now we're going to look at this sample. This is going to be at 10x, I believe, or 100x. So usually what I'll do is we'll just go through the whole sample real quick, see if we can find anybody. I always like looking at the excess first outside because sometimes we get stragglers. This just means I put too much on the slide. Probably should be work on how to put my slide cover on a little straighter. Not the straightest thing I've ever seen before. And again, I'm just perusing through this quite rapidly to see if I see anything moving, and then we'll take a peek and investigate. If it's outside the slide cover, usually there's no reason to go take a peek at it because it's just free flowing anyway. So if the wind blows, it moves, or as I move the stage, which is what the side slide sits on, then things move as well. So, alrighty, we're back to the beginning. Yep, we'll come down to this corner and let's go take a peek at the rest of this cover. See if we can find any other critters. Maybe a piece of fungi. Looks like it might be broken. Probably organic material though. Usually do these quick scans to see if anything catches my eye. What we're looking for is the big critters, maybe some mites, some nematodes, ciliates, if we have any. Those will usually be jumping around. A piece of organic material for sure. Yeah, at the top of the cover slip. Nothing, nothing, nothing. I think that's a stick, but if it's a piece of organic, if it's fungi, the biggest piece of fungi I've ever seen, it's not. It's green. It's organic material. Since we're here, nope, nothing else. Alrighty, and we go. There we go. Looks like we got a nematode right here. We sure do. See if we can get all up in his business. Oh, looks like we have an omnivore. Quite a large mouth at the front. You can see that there. Could be a predatory. I don't see a tooth in there though. Looks like he's got himself stuck on something. Oh, it's a little tail. All right. Let's see if we can shadow this just a little bit better. See if we can. Definitely a very wide mouth. I'd say an omnivore. This guy's going to eat everything. Anything that he comes in contact with. Spores, bacteria, fungi. If it fits in his mouth, he's going to eat it. Moving away from us. I wonder if he wasn't damaged while I was shaking him because he's kind of stuck. Usually they don't stick in one position like that. Usually they're thrashing around all over the place. But very wide mouth on this guy. Very wide. Very extremely wide mouth. It's got one of those nice long whippy tails too. Yeah, quite large. Quite large. So that's what we have there, and that's what a nematode looks like. One of the nematodes. See if we can find any more. Excuse me. I think that's gonna be it. Nothing else in this sample. Trace this back, but oopsie. have anything in here. Now what we can do is we can come back into this. And that's going to be organic material. Looks like we've got a spore, maybe amoeba of some sort right there. Let's see if we can get down in there. What do we have? Some type of amoeba or flagellate. It could be a cyst. It's a cyst either way. Whether it's encysting or encysted. That's what we have there. I guess I should have set up the auto. Let's see. There we go. Actual size. All right. We're just going to have to deal with that because that's what we have right now. So. Oh, that is our nematode that we were looking at. This could be I don't know if it's the same nematode we're looking at. But like this guy's a little smaller. We're at 400x right now. It's a nice tail, but it looks like he has a spear in his mouth, which means that this is a fungal feeder. It's hard to tell. Hard to tell. Could be a root feeder, but it's hard to tell. Could be a root or a fungal feeder. I mean, hmm. Sometimes when we're at these higher magnifications, we can see other things. So let's see. There's a piece of fungi there, that right there. Nice. Broken. Stuck to an aggregate. Nice. Look in there. I'm gonna try to focus this up a little bit here. You can see there's an outer shell, makes an elbow. Looks like we have a septa right here, and then it broke off right here. Pretty nice. We've got a piece of either fulvic or huvic acid right there. Different things that we can see. This actually could be some type of spore, maybe a fungal spore. Usually the mycorrhizal ones are really dark in color, or that's what they say. Nothing for the rest of there. Looks like we've got some flagellate cysts here at the bottom. We've got one here. We've also got one here. Maybe there and there. Just encysted, just hanging out, not doing anything, not a whole lot. Well, that's about it for that one. When I do my testing, there's always randomization inserted into the test to make sure that it's fair and equal. And that's kind of what I'm doing now. I'm not coming up with a whole bunch of a lot of things. So nice piece of actinobacteria. This right here. Nice, straight, pretty long. Yeah, it's a nice piece. Sorry, sometimes I look through the eyepiece because it makes it easier. So, that check mark looking thing, I've been told that this is a dower larvae. Usually it is a got a like a Nike swoosh to the end of it. Looks like we got some bacillus maybe right here. Uh, Could be maybe a piece of actino. Okay, where was I going with this? I was going this way. Whoa, nothing there. The thing is, when you're in at 400x like I am right now, you can skip over a lot of things. So a sample could have some things in it, but we skip over a lot of it when we're zoomed in this far. And that's pretty much it for this sample. We went through it and we looked and didn't find much of anything. I mean, we found a couple things, right? But not too much of anything. Hmm. Cluster of spores right there. Maybe some fungi at the top. Let's stick peeky peeky. Yep, right there. A budding pair of spores. Probably fungal spores. The darker they are, the more likely they are to be mycorrhizal. Oh, looks like we have a busted testate amoeba there. But I thought I saw some. Oh, some more spores right there. Maybe I did not. Hmm. Thought I saw some fungi in there somewhere when I saw the spores. Yeah, right there. Must have glanced right over it. It could be fungi, but more likely it could be like actinobacteria. There's a fungal spore right there. And I saw a shell of something here, right here. Kind of cool looking. Doesn't have anything inside of the shell. Could be a type of amoeba. Maybe. Definitely off the back end right here. We have some fungi. Keeping it connected. But you can see it's a nice shell, thick outer. And then this right here seems to be where the inside is, or should be, the opening. Or it could just be broken off. It's hard to tell. You know, 2D, you know. Kind of cool though. You find a bunch of different things inside of, samples. Just running around. Gotta get on the slide if we want to see anything. And see, sometimes we could mistake that for a piece of fungi, but you see how it gets very skinny at the end and then it's tattered? This is a piece of organic material. Now, this could be a root hair, could be a piece of root. Don't really know, but definitely not a piece of fungi. Oh, I like all of that. We'll have to take a peek. Alrighty. So, I saw these strands, right? And we talk about aggregation, we talk about the soil pulling things together. Fungi does this. You see how it's reaching out and it's grabbing for other things. Eventually, it's going to connect to things, as you can see right here. It's grabbing onto different aggregates. Whoops, grabbing onto different aggregates, all collecting together. Bacteria comes in there and they have the glues and they glue it all together, right? And then they create bigger and bigger pieces, like we see right here. And that is how we aggregate soils. Well, that's how microbes aggregate soils. Now, I saw something over here that was very interesting. I'm gonna have to pop out. Where did you go? Oh, I was curious about what that was. Yep. Looks like a cyst of some sort. Could be a ciliate. Too big to be a flagellate. But yep, that is definitely something hibernating. And then the other thing I wanted to look at was this really dark orb right here. Looks kind of cool. Looks like molten lava on the sun. I would assume this is be some type of spore as well. It's very pretty. Very pretty. I haven't seen one like that before. Pretty cool looking. The sample was a wee bit on the dry side, which remember we need air, water, food, and microbes, and we see food in the slide. There's air because there's space. It's not all mineralized or minerals, but what we don't see is the moisture. Well, we see the moisture, it's all the empty space, but sometimes there's not enough of it to keep everything alive. Well, I think that's all we got for today. I think we're going to hang this one up. Unless I can find that nematode again. Think we'll find them? Usually, when you leave these guys, they are difficult to find again. Which way was it? It was up here. Oh, there it is. Hard to find sometimes. So we had two nematodes in this one, right? Because we had the one that we looked at, which had the big mouth, which is this one. And then we had the other one that looked like it was a fungal feeder, right? Because it had the spear. It could have been a root feeder, but this one definitely has a massive mouth. Big boy, omnivore. Eats whatever comes his way. But I Yeah, cool looking fella. Alrighty, that's it for today. Actually, look at that. We got some type of cyst there. He might eat that if he can get it into his mouth. But again, I think something. Oh, he didn't want to look at us anymore, I guess. Oh, no, no. Come back. See if we can get him back in focus. There we go. Oh, we got 3 spores right here, too. 1, 2, 3. Fungal spores. Very nice. And probably a ciliate cyst and an omnivore nematode. All in one field of view. Kind of cool. All right, guys. That was fun. Bye now.